It doesn't matter.
What?
Make it more interesting. I think.
It hasn't started yet, Dan. You're really like... Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Help with Natalie Cuomo. I am so fucking excited. I am here today with tattooer Tony Medellin. How are you?
Oh, wow. I'm good. You said the meth again.
Tony, I'm...
Medellin.
Medellin.
You were killing it right before.
Tony.
And then you pronounce the T and you add meth to my last name, which is already connected to the Colombian cartel.
I'm really sorry.
No, it's kind of tight.
Okay. Well...
I'm not that cool, though.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
In your own Airbnb. You tattooed me today. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a good time, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. I covered that sweet, what was it again?
And it was a really ugly centaur that I did. And you finally covered it with this beautiful Hanuma. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It was actually a fun spot to tattoo.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been wanting that. And it looks covered forever and it looks perfect.
Hell yeah.
So I've been admiring your work for so long. It's very cool to finally meet you.
Thank you.
Yeah. When did you first start tattooing?
2004.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I was like 14. No, I was like 15 or 16. I'm not really sure. I had a little girlfriend at the time, and she was all, "Hey, I want to get tattooed," and I was like, "Okay, that sounds pretty cool. Grab your mom's credit card." and this was like right when like eBay just started.
Yeah.
So like there were still people like, "Oh, dude, I could sell stuff from home." So we bought a Huck Spalding kit, and thank God I never tattooed her because that would have been awful because we were children.
How old were you?
15. I was 15 because I just got my learner's permit, but I was still driving around in a little Honda Accord. Had a gold hood because I rear-ended somebody.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I had to go to Pig and Pull, and I stole another one.
I always thought that would kind of look cool though. Like if a car had one, like I need a new trunk. I'm like, kind of would look cute. White car, different colored trunk.
Just like a purple trunk.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of like funky.
It's cool for like a week, and then you just look like a dickhead.
Why do you look like a dickhead? You have like a different car.
It's not a different car. It's just a trunk.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like slam a Hemi in that thing or something.
So then what happened? Why didn't you give her a tattoo?
I didn't tattoo her, and I took everything to my house, and I just started tattooing all my homeboys.
Okay.
Yeah, a bunch of little Mexican dudes in my neighborhood, you know. I was like, I hung out with all the Mexican kids, you know, because that's part of my culture. But I was like the only one who liked death metal.
Really?
So, yeah. So they like that term rocker fool. Like they always called me that back in the day. So I was the one kid that was hanging out with all the bald-headed gangbangers, but I was just like listening to like Slayer and like, you know, Cannibal Corpse and stuff. And I was tattooing I tattooed "fuck cops" in everybody's lip one day after school.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was like 15 dudes.
What made you want to do that? That's crazy.
They just asked.
Like a group of 15 guys came up to you.
Yeah, we were all at continuation high school, and we just got done playing foosball.
Oh my God, this is crazy.
Yeah, so they were like, "Yeah, let's go." So we went back to the trailer park, and I tattooed "fuck cops" in everybody's lip.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and that's how it started. And then I dropped out of high school, and I just made it work.
At what point into tattooing were you like, this is worth dropping out of high school and I know that this is my life?
Yeah, pretty much, because I've always drawn my whole life. And then so I used to actually sit at the diner with my mom because she worked at Black Bear Diner, and she was a really good artist, but she had to kill time. And so she taught me how to draw while I was sitting in the booth because she worked a graveyard shift. So I would just draw in the sketchbook while she served people. And then after the night was over, I'd go fill up all the sugars and stuff. And then, you know, being a little fat kid, I'd go in the back, and I was like, "Where are those Oreo brownies for the Sundays?" Because they were in little packages, you know. So I stuffed them in my fat little pocket, and just, you know, I just munch on those things and just start, you know, drawing. And that's how it started. And then I saw magazines. I saw the OG Flash magazines. I don't know, I just fell in love with it. Something about your art living on forever is it's very respectable and honorable. And the fact that people want it from me and are proudly wearing it, like, it makes me feel really good.
That's awesome.
So that's how that started, and I never looked back. I had odd jobs during my apprenticeship, but you know, I'd fix video games at a casino.
Mm-hmm.
I ran a motion theater. So
Okay.
yeah, and then I would tattoo everybody at the at the
It's like
casino
a good
arcade.
business tactic, honestly. You
Dude.
get jobs so you could tattoo everyone there and
Yo,
quit.
I had the best side hustle. Like my homies would come in and I'd preload cards and I'd be like, hey, here you go, come get the PlayStation. And then they get the PlayStation and like a box full of like those switchblade combs, and then we go sling them.
That's awesome.
So, and then yeah, and I just kept tattooing the whole time, but I still had to make my bills.
Was there a moment? What was the moment in your career where you feel like you really found your style as a tattooer?
You know what? I still don't feel like I found my style. I struggle with this every day. Like I'll sit there like with my girlfriend and she'll be like, your stuff's dope. It's cool. And I'm like, but what is it?
Yeah.
What's going on? I like, and I just realized my style has always been whatever comes through the door, because that's the way I was taught. In Reno, Nevada, we have a lot of tattoo history there, and my mentor just said like, yo, this is how you get paid. This is how you feed yourself, and you are a service, like you provide a service to these people. So work with them. And I did, I did bio, lettering. I didn't do color portraits. I did my first one on national television, but we'll get into that later. But I never did. I anything with a black outline, I would do. If it had a black outline, I would do it, and that's just the way I was taught. And then now it's ingrained in me, so I kind of can. If you look at my stuff, I can mix so many different styles and make it work. At least in my head, it does. But yeah, I don't have a style. I just do whatever.
Do you like that better? Like, how you're saying, like you say to your girlfriend, like, what is my style? Like, are you looking for that answer, or do you like feeling like you can be anything?
Every tattooer is looking for that answer.
Yeah.
And I'd say 95% of tattooers will never find it.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks they have a style, but in reality, they're just regurgitating something that worked. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But most of us, we just stick with what works. And then once in a while, we throw a little sass into it.
Yeah. Why is everyone like looking for that?
I don't know. The same reason why everyone looking for love.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone needs answers they don't have.
Yeah, totally.
So we go on these spiritual test journeys. And so yeah, that's where I'm at.
What do you think is like the best advice you've ever received?
The best advice I've ever received was honestly, like as typical as it sounds, but be kind to people in the beginning, because you don't know where they're going to be in the future. And you might take care of someone and it might pay you later, or you can be shitty to someone and that person ends up famous and they're like, fuck that dude. I was an asshole growing up. I was very insecure. I projected my anger on everyone. I was really bad, and I finally, got my head out of my ass and just realized, yo, you can't treat people, even if you're having a bad day, like you can't project it onto people. So I just learned to just be kind to everybody and help when I can. And I believe it comes back to me, I'm all for it. The universe.
Huh, that's good advice. I actually was kind of having a similar conversation with Pon today, which is funny. He was like telling me stories of people that were assholes before and then are nice now.
Yeah, it's just, it's full circle. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to ever treat me the way I treated people. So I told myself, for every bad deed I did in the past, I got to do a good one to make up for it. You can change all you want, but my way is deed for deed. I'm trying to do that until the day I die.
That's awesome. Was there like a pivotal moment in your life where you were like, all right, I want to think about things differently, or just kind of came over time?
It was slow. It was just slow. Like I was a late bloomer with my brain, I had a lot of shit to figure out, and it was slow, but I'm happy I'm there, but I have a lot of work to do, and I'm 1000% ready to do it.
That's cool. Well, like what advice would you give to someone that feels that way? They're like, oh, I want to do work on myself. Like how do you like?
Oh man, that's a tough one, because it's like diet and exercise is different for everybody.
Yeah.
Me personally, I just tell people, just spend some time discovering yourself and figure out what weird quirky thing makes you happy and makes you out of your black cloud, And for me, it's, tattooing has always been that way, but growing up in a tattoo shop as a teenager, I didn't get to do any of that shit. I didn't get to go, I dropped out of high school. I didn't get to be a kid. I was hanging out with adults who were wilding, so they set an example for me, and then I followed it, and then now I'm trying to backtrack. But I just had to find things that made me happy, and once I found those things and I fell in love with them, this is like night and day, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I had to reflect for a minute. Damn.
Sorry.
Podcast inception.
What are like your biggest pet peeves as a tattooer when someone comes in? Like, what's the most annoying thing a client could do?
You know, I that's a tough one. Honestly, it's just coming in with like not willing to work with the artist.
Yeah.
You know, like, and if you agree, if you're like, hey, I picked you because of your style, I want a portrait. Like, you can't do that. Like, you know, if you're a tattoo enthusiast, which you understand, you got to go to that person for their specialty. So I always just tell people, I'm like, just pick your person right and do your research to the point where you give them trust.
Right. I agree.
And bring money.
Yeah. Has someone ever like walked out on the middle of you tattooing them?
No.
Really? Because
Yeah.
like it hurt too much or something?
No, I don't let people leave.
What do you mean?
If I line something, I'm like, yo, if you leave now, I'm gonna charge you double when you come back. And I just do it I just do it to give them that push though, you know, because I don't want to charge them, and I know they can do it. They're just in their head, you know. So I do whatever I can. I kind of gaslight them a little bit, you know, and you know, fuck what TikTok says, it works.
That's
but it
awesome.
works, and that's why everyone you just gotta sometimes you gotta help people push past certain things.
Yeah.
You know? Like I don't know how many times I've been tattooed. I wanted to tap, and he's all, "Nah, dude, you're gonna finish this," and I'm like, "There's no way." And then guess what? I do.
Wow, that's a really cool answer. That's really awesome. What do you like as a tattooer? You like are close to people in their really intimate moments, like they're in pain, or maybe their tattoo means a lot to them. Like, what do you feel like you're learning the most about people in this experience?
Oh man, I learn about everybody I tattoo. I know what people like to drink. Like I know what dude is cheating on his wife and vice versa. And for years, maybe months, but like I'm like a therapist. I sign an NDA for myself, and I just what you tell me stays with me because it's not my place. And some people just love to pour that shit onto you, you know? So I'm like, yeah, dude. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Here's a therapist, man. I think you could really use that, but you know,
Is there like a common thread in everyone that you just feel from like having all these connections? Or it's just like, you know, people kind of dump on you because you're like a tattoo artist.
It's
they
there,
like,
you know,
it's like you're like that person.
You know that whole like stigma, like tattoo is therapy, you know, and but it is for a lot of people, you know,
Yeah.
like some people live with, I at least from my experience, some people live with so much other pain that they just want to feel something that's a little bit different that they can look at,
Right.
you know, so what the fuck were we talking about?
I don't
I'm
know.
so ripped.
I don't thank you. I finally feel like
Yeah,
okay,
I
good.
caught up.
Thank you. All right, good. I feel better. So, all right. What's like the first tattoo you ever got?
The first one I ever got, I think it's this Skull and Bones right there, downtown Reno.
Yeah.
My mom took me.
Wow, that's so
And
cool.
that was at a time where like minors were not getting tattooed at all.
How old were you?
I'm so sorry about that. I'm like freaking rampage over here, dude.
Okay, yeah.
All right. So I got this. My mom took me because I begged her, but she could see that I was actually like into it. And for some reason, she's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we went. She spent $100, got me that skull and crossbones, and I was running that thing. Keep in mind, I'm 15.
Yeah.
I had a chest piece at 16.
Oh my
I had
God.
a sleeve at 17. So before I dropped out of high school, I was the badass in high school.
That's crazy.
But you can only be so badass until they put you in freshman English. So I'm with a bunch of kids who are smarter than me, and I'm just tattooed. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? You know? And but yeah, I got tattooed way too young, though. I'm not gonna lie.
What makes it way too young?
Your brain, like, you know, we're not mature enough to make those decisions. And I think we don't really mature till like our mid-20s.
Yeah.
You know, based off experience at least. So I was just too young, but also it needed to happen because that ignited it. That solidified like, okay, I want to pursue and see what happens with this.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really cool how supportive your mom was.
Yeah. She was cool about it. You know, she was cool. She was always giving me her credit card so I can order needles on eBay. And then I'd be like, Mom, I heard this guy in Chinatown in San Francisco is making them. He's like the only one of the guys that was getting tattooed at the shop was like, you're going to be a good tattooer one day. So here you go. He gave me a card, and I'd call this guy and I'd be like, hey, I need, you know, at the time it was like mags just came out. So it was like flat needles. So they're like razor blades, which you cut people up like crazy with them. But yeah, my mom hooked me up with a credit card.
That's really cool. Have you tattooed her?
Yeah. My mom has a dragonfly. And then she's always like, honey, I want to put a blossom right here. She always makes me add little nickel things to it. I'm like, Mom, you almost have like a traditional sleeve in a 5x6 spot. And then finally she let me add flowers, and she just got little stuff on her leg.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you have a favorite tattoo you've done?
Yeah, the Ink Master finale.
Fuck yeah.
That one won me $100K, man. That's my favorite one.
Did being on that show like really change your life?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I was just telling a couple friends, like, it's a give and take situation, because, you know, am I going to be perceived as a sellout, or what they quote as a sellout, or am I going to be perceived as someone who's trying to get ahead, you know? And the reality is, like, change it's inevitable, and I decided to go for it, but I decided to do it my way. You know, I'm going to brand myself my way outside of Ink Master, and it worked out perfect for me.
Yeah. What do you mean? Like, people will other people in the community will see that as being like a sellout?
Because tattooing is very sacred, and it's always been sacred, you know. And, you know, when the shows came out, there was a lot of controversy over it, because it's like, well, now you're giving out, now people can see what supplies you're using, your technique, and now it's available to, you know, millions of people weekly. So it does spark that wildfire of new tattooers, but at the same time, it sparks that wildfire of new clients, people who are too afraid to go into a tattoo shop, people who have anxiety, want to get tattooed their whole life, but, you know, they think it's going to be a terrible process, you know? So I think it was the devil we needed.
Yeah.
Realistically. And, you know, I'm very proud that I did it.
That's amazing.
So
that's awesome. What was like the first moment after you won where you're like it really felt real to you?
When I went to the Louis Vuitton store in Vegas the next day and I looked around, I was like, yeah, I don't want anything from here. So I just went and bought some slippers from like this shitty shoe spot.
That's so
But
funny.
I was like, hell yeah, I got money now. You know, I was like, I could pay for this right now. And I was like, no, I mean, yeah, but you don't need a Louis belt and this and that. It was just me trying to, I don't know. I thought maybe I needed to have expensive stuff to make it feel real.
Yeah.
But I just wanted the option.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to look and know I could buy if I wanted.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I there's something also fun. Dan and I went to this Gucci store once, and I feel like we only bought something.
I would love to see Dan in a Gucci store.
Yes, I feel like we only bought something. They followed us. I feel like when we bought something, they were so fucking shocked. They just could not have been more surprised.
I deal with that all the time.
Were so surprised.
Me and my girlfriend gets very upset, you know, because like she's all, I'll pull my white card. I don't give a fuck, you know, and I'm like, thanks. Yeah, you might have to, you know, but we'll go places and they just assume that, you know, I don't got anything, and I'm like, yeah, I'll take that cash, you know, here's $5,000, and they're like, oh my God, and all of a sudden, come back and see me, man, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna go back and see the dude who everyone avoided me but except him.
Yeah,
you know, it's a furniture store in Reno. That's what I'm talking about. Fucking cocksuckers. But the one dude who it wasn't even his department, he goes, dude, no one's helping you. Can I help you out? I was like, dude, it's your lucky day. I want this and this. I'm paying cash. Let's go. And he got a big old, like, you know, commission from it. And
yeah.
But I deal with that all the time. Home Depot's the worst. They watch me when I'm trying to buy a drill.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I literally have to, I'll pull out, I don't like to carry money on me, but I do, and my girlfriend's always like, why do you carry so much money on you? And I stopped doing that because she checked me, so I don't do that anymore. But before, I have to prove to people I can afford it. I look a certain way, but I can afford it.
Yeah.
You know? And then you go on TV now, everybody at Home Depot knows me, so.
Fuck all of you guys.
Yeah. I'm like, I'll buy whatever the fuck I want. I was never stealing anyways, and if I wanted to, I could.
Yes.
You know? Those locks ain't gonna stop me.
Fuck them, yeah.
Yeah, but.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's interesting. It goes back to your advice of just like feeling judged and like treating people a certain way, because you never know.
You never know. And, you know, like, here, I'll give you guys an example. So back in the day, I used to do a lot of like metal bands and shit. Like that was I have crazy layers of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to do a lot of like, okay, let's backtrack a little.
Yeah, walk me through the layers of the life.
So I didn't do anything like weed, drugs, nothing. I didn't alcohol until I was like 28.
Okay.
I was sober my whole life.
Huh. Why was
because
that?
I was a straight edge kid. I was like a
Okay.
hardcore straight edge kid from a town that's really aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just grew up with those dudes. You know, they were a bunch of like really tough dudes, hard lined. And, you know, we're in a 24-hour city of sin. So you kind of have to act it. But that took me into metal and playing bands and doing all that shit. And I met this one dude named Paul Salem, really good friend of mine now. But he was just super cool. And this is like 2004, 2005. And we've just kept in contact. And finally, like last year, he called me and he works for Lana Del Rey now, you know? So he was all, hey, do you want to do her merch?
Wow, that's cool.
I was like, I would love to. And the fact that he like we've kept in contact. I've always been good to him. He's been good to me. He called me for the job and he gave me that opportunity. And that was just because I was just a cool dude when I was a teenager, you know? So now that's why I live by that motto.
That's really, really awesome. That's cool. Yeah, you have a clothing line. I'm wearing one of your shirts.
Yes. I mean, I got a lot of random businesses, you know. I'm not like I love tattooing. I always tell people I'm 100% tattooer to the day I fucking die. Like,
Yeah.
There's no questions. It's not a hobby of mine. Like, it's my life. It's given me everything that I've had. Like the tat gods, like I pray to those dudes every goddamn day for the life that's been given to me. But I have tattooers get old. Our backs are bad, you know, like we get carpal tunnel and the reality is no one's looking out for us. Like, I don't even have health insurance. You know, I have to go on TV to win money to go get my cavities fixed.
Right.
So I'm trying other adventures and seeing.
Like a comedian.
Yeah. It is a comedian's way.
Dude, yeah, you got to do it, you know? So I have the clothing line. I actually, I have a vodka line.
Really?
Yeah, it just launched. It's me and a couple partners. I did some really cool graphics. It's black.
Whoa.
So it's one of the only ones in America that's black.
It's
and
black
it's like
vodka?
Yeah.
What?
They approached me. They're like, dude, you would kill this label. Would you like to be involved? I was like,
Whoa.
hell yeah. So I branded it with them, designed the label, and dude, it just launched. I'll make sure I get you guys some.
We don't drink, but otherwise...
Yeah, give it to someone. Throw
We'll
it at a
fucking give it
wall.
to
Light it on
someone.
fire. I don't give a shit.
If I did drink, I would only drink black vodka.
Hell yeah. You playing with some Chinese finger traps over there, dude?
It's literally all he does is sit at home and playing
looks
fingering
like you're
Chinese
scratching
finger
some
traps.
records over there.
Jesus, there's so many things that I want to ask you. I don't even know what direction to go into.
Yeah, good luck. I try to ask myself shit every day in the mirror, dude, and I just walk off.
What do you ask yourself every day in the mirror?
What's the purpose of life,
Yeah,
man?
same.
What color are you going to tattoo that rose? Are you really happy with all that black you put in? Stuff like that, you know, typical stuff.
What's the most painful spot that you've had tattooed?
My head.
Oh,
The head was real fucky. I did not like that at all. That's why I grew my hair out, so I had a reason not to go back.
Oh, really?
Hell yeah. Plus, they're all my homies. I got one side finished. I got one side that needs to get finished, and look at, I got these locks of a fucking
Your hair
stallion,
is
man.
impressive.
Like, I'm trying to, like, when it falls out, then I'll get my shit fucking worked on. But for now, like, I'm fucking Vidal Sassoon in this shit.
Damn. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of texture.
Thank you.
No, I've really struggled with my hair texture. Anyway, that's great.
You're like a centaur.
You're like one of them Dothrakis, but he likes Hot Pockets. I fucking told you. I said, good luck. Good luck. It took my girl 4 years to just have a decent understanding of me.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a wild man.
It took her 4 years to get to know you. I mean, how often?
She she knows me well, but like it took like I had a lot of layers of myself that I didn't know about.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, so she was like, "Yo, you got to peel that one back. You got to check that one. You need to get that one figured out, and then we can, then you can give me what I need, and I can give you what you need." And it's worked out great.
That's very mature.
Yeah,
That's cool.
It's pretty cool.
Interesting. What would you say is like the biggest thing that like you took from a mentor in tattooing when you were coming up?
The day you're too good for a butterfly, get the fuck out of a tattoo shop.
What does that?
And that basically means if you've gotten to the point where you're too good to do what got you into the game, then you're not paying back to the tradition and paying the respect that it deserves. You're too egotistical, So like, in a sense, it doesn't have to be a butterfly, but like you got to go back to your roots and you got to stick to the basics, and you got to pay homage to tattooing with the small ones if you do big ones all the time, you know? You just got to check yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that advice. So just like make sure you're not just always doing the same thing.
I mean, it's
Or
not
just go back to your
necessarily, it's
roots?
just remember where you came from, you know, because it's really easy to get lost in the game. Like, you know, there's the most egotistical tattooers in the game right now, you know, just people that just put their headphones on, fucking books closed, you know, like no one wants to go to a convention to see someone with headphones and books closed. Like people forget, like you got to make yourself available so people can have a reason to pay this money to keep this convention alive so I can come back next year.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what I try to do. You know, of course I have my book a little bit because it costs a lot. But I try to be available for everybody if I can.
Yeah, I do like that a lot. I notice sometimes at conventions, like you'll see people are there and you're like, oh, there's no way. They say they're booked the whole convention. Like, why are they even?
Yeah, you know, and I get it. Like there's some people that maybe don't travel to a certain area a lot, but I see sometimes the same people over and over. I'm just like, what are you doing, man? Like you probably make way more money just having a conversation with someone who walks by.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know.
Right.
I can go on and on.
Please.
Give me another question.
Have you had a lot of apprentices?
No.
Really?
No. Just one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's a crusher. Yeah, his name's Alex Blackwell. He's in one of the Carolinas. I don't know which one. But man, that kid, like I was just showing his page to a couple other tattooers because that's how proud of him
that's
I
awesome.
am. I was like, this is what you should strive for. This is what you should strive for. This is what you should strive for. And he's crushing it. He's doing good, and I'm very proud of him. And honestly, I don't think I won't take another one unless it's someone I think tattooing needs, because tattooing doesn't need anybody else. We need tattooing. It doesn't need us.
Yeah.
So that's like my mentality going into it. So if tattooing needs this person, I'll link them.
What is the process of becoming an apprentice like?
I mean, pick an era. What do you
Like,
want? You want the pussy ass shit today, or do you want the kind of pussy ass shit that I went through, or the hard ass shit everyone else like in the 80s and 90s went through?
Well, what's the difference between all of the three?
Basically like discipline and having thick skin and just willing to just do the grunt work. You know, your typical grunt work stuff. Like people are like, oh, I don't believe in berating people. And people do take advantage of that. So I understand to an extent, but also you're about to be invited into a career that's going to potentially make you, you know, 6 figures in the first year that you're out of your apprenticeship. So if, you know, you got to go wash the boss's car and go get lunch and do all that, you got to do it because that person's going to give you the gift of tattooing. And that's what it takes. You know, luckily for me, like my mentor, like, well, I had a couple, I first one, I went to like some peckerwood shop and, yeah, that was not a good time. I did not need to be there. I was too young and it was too gangster, you know?
Yeah.
And,
what was it like?
It was just very like, it was so, I don't know, man. It's like walking into a haunted house.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. It was just very uneasy. I was uncomfortable. But the dude wasn't really there to do stuff. And, you know, so I just did not, he wasn't going to teach me shit. Like that was the thing. Like I knew I wasn't going to learn anything. So then John McCann, which is the guy that brought me in, because I was like, fuck this. I'm just going to tattoo out of my fucking house. You know, like I don't give a shit. I'll be a kitchen magician. Like all the homeboys will get tattooed. And I did that. And he finally started seeing my stuff on the street, you know, and he calls me and he goes, hey, where you at? And I was like, well, I'm in like Miami or some shit right now. Cause I was with, you know, I was out fucking around. And then he's like, well, when you come back, you have a job. I'd like to apprentice you. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah. So I went home, went to the shop, and I think I worked 300 and something days straight at my choosing. He would be like, dude, you can go. And I'm like, no, like, this is what I want to do. And you're a great tattooer, so I will do whatever I got to do. And he helped me break some bad habits. And before you know it, I was taking walk-ins, and that's all she wrote.
Whoa, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What'd you do after that apprenticeship?
I just tattooed with him for a couple years, and then I was ready to make a change so I can go meet new people. And then I went to my my other shop that I'm currently at. It's called Lasting Dose in Reno, and I've been there since 2009.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
so I just been kicking it with the homies, and
Oh my God.
I travel a lot. Like I love tattooing people. I love meeting new tattooers. I love sharing booths with new tattooers. I just love tattooing.
It's cool that like the average, like him seeing your work is just people walking around wearing your art. Like that's awesome. Like I think about like a comedian, like someone would have to see my work, like see a video of me or see me live somewhere. It's like, no, you just like saw Gary and Gary had my art on him. Like that's so cool.
Yeah, and like people will take photos like this. My buddy from Arizona sent me a photo of a tattoo that I did, and it's on one of my other homies back from Nevada, and he got my last name with a Nevada because I got his last name on mine, just little bangers. And he sent a photo. I was like, what the fuck, dude? How do you know him? And I was just like, it was just trippy, and that was an old tattoo from back in the day, and then I'm seeing like I tattooed my friend Nick Justice today. He's from Reno, but he moved out to Philly to do film, and he has one of my first ones in his kitchen, and then and it's on his arm, and he's all, dude, I got to come back for the other one. So we did a nice crispy one right next to it, and he loves looking at both.
Yeah.
But like he's a real MVP. Like people like that who just let you believe in you, let you do your thing, carry that bad tattoo forever, and know that you'll be good in the future. Like those dudes are the reason why we are who we are, because you can't really charge for that shit. You got to let someone who believes in you fucking run it up.
What would you say to someone that wants to start tattooing, but doesn't have the courage to do so yet?
I usually tell people don't.
It's the same thing with comedy.
Because, and then you say don't because if they really want to, they'll go against that and then make it work.
That's a good answer.
But and the reality is, like, I'm sure with comedy, it gets very saturated. Everything gets, I mean, at least with tattooing, it's very saturated. So, like, from a economic standpoint, it's very hard to pop off as a tattooer if you're not bringing something new, or you don't have a lineage to follow, or you don't work at a shop that has a reputation that can back your work. You're just going to be another person doing anime tattoos.
Hey, she just got an anime tattoo.
I did.
Yeah, no, but no. Not that kind of anime. You got black outlines. I'm talking like those crazy wild ones where no one taught them how to use a black outline.
Yeah.
Like that kind of anime. And I'm just saying anime because I just thought of the first thing that just popped in my head of tattooing that I don't know.
It worked.
Dan was excited about it.
I love your tattoo. It was just comedy.
Yo, he did the blank stare again.
Yeah, it was good timing. How's it going? Good? It's not even her water bottle. That's the best part.
Why does that matter?
Because it's his.
Yeah, but I've become comfortable with it.
No, but that's the funniest thing. It's all a big family here at the Natalie Cuomo podcast.
I feel like you said that in a weird way.
No, you're just high.
Okay. Thank you.
So
yes.
are you.
Thank you.
So is that plant. I can't believe you haven't talked about the nose on the.
What do you? I mean, what about the no? We're not. It's not facing us, so it looks like a normal pod to us, Dan.
For 30 minutes.
Have you ever had like a bad trip?
Yeah. When I did mushrooms my first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was with a partner that we did not need to be with each other. Like I'll take mutual responsibility, but we did not need to be with each other, and we went to the forest, and I ate mushrooms, and
Forest.
yeah, we camp a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just like, where is there a forest?
But yeah, I mean Reno. Okay, do you not know where Reno is?
I do. I'm sorry.
Okay, I said forest like I'm fucking magical. I meant the woods. Sorry, the KOA. Is that better? Shit, man. I'm trying to fucking spice up the joint.
Natalie?
Nevada.
Yeah.
So what's the big deal?
No, just that.
We're at the base of the Sierras. You could like Lake Tahoe's 30 miles or about 30 minutes from me. So
Nice mountain.
yeah.
I know geography.
So back to my mushrooms.
Yeah.
I ate mushrooms for the first time
In the forest.
in the forest, the enchanted one. It was a good time. And then I just started like being like, whoa, you do not need to be with her. Like nothing. And then like it hit me. I was laying there and I looked over and she looked like one of these Japanese yokai where their jaws expand and then these teeth just like she looks like one of those demigorgons, but Japanese. And
oh my God, from Stranger Things.
Yeah. Like I visioned it so crazy. Probably because I was drawing that shit a lot, but it came to life. And I remember just being like, and I started backing up into we had a jumping jack tent, and I was trying to break out of the tent. And after that, I was like, yeah, I don't need to be with you.
That's crazy. That's such a good visual. Like, I really could see what you were explaining.
Yeah,
That's terrible.
It was pretty much like she looked over and it just, blah, and I was like, and I started like crawling, and I was like, oh fuck, man, I can't.
So how quickly after did you break up with her?
I don't remember. You know, it's hard.
Yeah, it's tough. You're like have that experience where she's a literal monster, but you stay with her.
You know, I don't know. I don't remember, but it happened.
Yeah,
and
that sucks.
And no, I'm happy. It was for the better, to be fair. And you know, of course, now I have my girlfriend that I've been with for 4 years, probably my longest relationship.
That's awesome.
And it's great.
Yeah.
You know, she gets me. You know, she knows my humor. She grew up the same way I did, poor.
I thought you were gonna say Mexican.
No, she wants to be Mexican now. That's why she got a Mexican. She loves the culture.
Yeah.
But I think she did grow up a little Mexican too. She's from Arizona.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is she a tattooer also?
No. She works at a cat cafe.
Oh my God, that's really fun.
Yeah. So it's called the Enchanted Cat Cafe in Reno, and they just rescue cats, and she goes in there and you know, she works when she can, and she does what she can to get these cats adopted.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so I donated gift certificates for people who donate because one of the cats, Sugar, just had their eye removed, and you know all that stuff comes out of their pocket.
Oh my God. What's wrong with you?
I wasn't in their pocket. Love it. That's what gets a gift certificate.
A donation?
A cat gets its eye removed, and then there's a gift certificate involved.
No, the cat had its. Okay, it was a bill that needs to be paid for that no one's paying for because people are dickheads with cats that they don't want to pay for.
I thought you were laughing because I don't know.
I just found it funny that the cat lost.
What's wrong with you? I can't believe. It's not funny. It's sad.
That made me laugh. Like,
Well, then I'll let them know you're going to send a generous donation.
Yeah, you are gonna.
Because you don't want. Hey,
sugar a new eye.
it's too late, dude. But you can get a gift certificate.
Okay, well,
Cat people don't fuck around, man. Like
we will send them a donation
All right, that would be sick.
in the name of Help with Natalie Cuomo.
There we go, Enchanted
The
Cat
podcast.
Cafe. But you know, it's just
Mark our words.
I fucking hope so because I'm gonna look like such a dickhead right now if I got to go out of my pocket and Venmo and say from Natalie and Dan.
No, it's gonna be from the pod.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
Well, cool.
Dan doesn't get to donate because he laughs about Sugar losing an eye.
Yeah, you know.
I cried as well.
Well, actually, he has to donate. Never mind. He did cry. Anyway.
Walk around the cafe with one eye.
Yeah, dude, she's
I
not
don't
a
think
pirate with a wooden leg. Like she can.
Sidelines for a little.
Dude, Sugar's tight, dude. I'm gonna
I feel
defend
like-
Sugar.
I feel like I want a tattoo of Sugar. Like a one-eyed cat. A one-eyed pirate cat. That's like.
That's good.
All right, never mind. Changed my mind.
Yeah, that was quick.
Okay, I'm feeling confident. Well, that's really cool.
But yeah, so the
Cat.
cat cafe for the third time, Dan.
We're gonna, yeah.
But yeah, she takes care of cats.
Nice.
And that's what she does.
Did you meet her because you were donating?
No, she hollered at me on Instagram.
Nice.
And what's crazy is like
works, ladies.
she didn't really mess around with dudes. Like we had mutual friends, so
Okay.
I knew who she was. She knew who I was, and my friends would be like, "Dude, she hasn't been with a dude in a minute. She fucking hates men. They treat her like shit." And then for a minute, I was like, "Fuck, man, I don't think I can give that to her because I don't know if I can treat women good yet." You know?
Yeah.
And when I say that, like time, like I was just on my own time, and so she slid in, and we were actually pretty platonic for a couple months, and then I was like, "What's up? You want to come to Reno?" I was like, I had that Ink Master money, so I can get that Southwest direct flight from Vegas. And
Nice.
She came up. It was Valentine's Day. That was our first date. I picked her up from the airport in '64 Impala lowrider.
Nice.
Yeah. So
That's-
we
that's
went on our
very
first
fun.
date, and then she was gonna fly home, and then COVID happened.
Wow.
So she was stuck with me in my house.
Oh my God.
And we had
Thank God it was a good first date.
Yeah, it was a good first date. It was a pretty wild next year.
Yeah.
But it's because everyone in the house had demons. Like I have a little gay brother named Daniel, and he lived with us, and that dude's got some demons at that time. We all did, but we were all just fueling each other's shit. And you know, dude, I'd be like, dude, you're doing Britney Spears TikToks in the living room. Like, get the fuck out. I'm trying to watch some TV. You know, and then I'd lose my shit. But we all had to figure out our stuff. We learned how to exist together, coexist, you know, and it was great. Like, it brought me out of my depression. I started drawing more, you know, like she's a great cook. So she cooks for me all the time.
Nice.
Like, she really takes care of me. So I was like, oh, okay, this is what it's like. Now I need to give it back.
Nice.
So now I know how to give it back.
That's awesome. Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, so
I feel like everything's like come full circle.
it has. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Do you live in the same area where like near where you grew up?
Yeah. I'm like a couple miles from downtown Reno.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought a house on the outskirts.
Do you like that you're near the same area? Like
No. I love Reno. It's a great place. I would just love to like go somewhere else, you know, but like my roots are there and that's where I get paid and like I got to pay my bills, you know. So Reno's cool. I like it. It's home. It's always going to be home. And you got Tahoe, you know, I'm 3-hour drive from San Francisco, 7 hours from LA, so, you know, 8 hours from Portland. I can go anywhere I want. It's a good hub, but I'd love to experience something else in the future.
What's something you wish more people knew about you?
Nothing. I wish people knew less.
Really?
Yeah, like let me fade away.
When did you start feeling like that?
When you get a lot of attention from national television, it makes you get uncomfortable at first, and then I don't know. I'm finally in a place where I'm comfortable in my own skin, and I'm comfortable being in a room by myself with my paintbrushes or building a motorcycle or watching Sopranos for like the billionth time with my chick. Like I like the things that I have now that I kind of want to like, I don't want anything to fuck it up.
Right.
You know? So I don't know, maybe less would be cool. But if you had to know something new is, I'm a badass tech decker. I like my little finger skateboards.
Really?
Yeah.
You're good at it?
Yeah, it's on my knuckles.
Oh, when did you get that?
I was like 10. I'm just kidding.
You believed him? Yeah, me too. But
my friend Brandon did it when I was, I think it was like maybe 8 years ago. But there used to be a mall down the street from my house, and my mom like bought me a tech deck, and like, you know, at the time it was like $10, and that was the only thing we could get. But I fucking love that thing. My mom bought it for me, you know, and she's a waitress, so she had to work hard for that $10. And I carried that thing with me. I'd go to the skate park, the skate park. Not that I wasn't that fat at that time. All right, I'd go to the local skate shop, and they built a fingerboard skate park, and it was like the first time I've seen one.
That's cool.
And every day I'd go in there. You know, I'm like 12 years old, and I'd just be, and they're just staring at me. They're like, and I'd leave. They're like, cool, thanks for buying something. Never bought shit. I realized they were just cool. They were just being fucking assholes, but I get it, you know, so I just fingerboard, and then there's like little competitions, so I'd go fucking buy in and fucking clean house and take some money home.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
You know, and then I go buy hot Cheetos from the Speedway, and then I take them to school, and then I sell the hot Cheetos, and then I take the hot Cheeto money, and I go buy these, they're called trompos, and they're tops, and you throw them, and you battle for them, and then I'd buy tops, and I'd deck them out and sell them to the kids, and I'd take that money and go to the drugstore and get a lowrider model kit, and I'd build a lowrider model kit and sell that, and then boom.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's cool that your interests have been so consistent throughout your whole life.
Yeah, I've always been creative. My mom's very creative. You know, she's a great artist. Like she back in the day, like she could draw like girl heads better than every tattooer in the game right now. I would just like nothing.
Huh.
So, and my grandpa was a master barber, and he played the accordion.
That's cool.
Yeah. He was he's an accordion.
That's
band.
a hard instrument.
Yeah, I have it.
That's really
cool.
cool.
Yeah, he gave it to me before he passed away, and I can't play it. I always bust it out to take photos, but I'm like, damn, dude, maybe try fucking learning this thing, because he's staring at you right now. And so I'm gonna try to play it one day. I think it'd be cool, but I have too many irons in the fire right now, so I need to actually pump the brakes and like get back to creating and painting and tattooing because I'm starting to, me personally, I'm starting to fall off a little bit. So I check myself a lot, and I need to get back to painting.
Right. Like too many other like creative endeavors on the side.
Because I get bored, I have like crazy ADHD, so I have to go from one stimulant to another, and it's just go down the line. And my girl's the one's like, you have ADHD. I was like, I don't even know what the fuck that is. Like, I don't got no weird shit. She goes, dude, I'm watching you fidget like crazy. Like you don't sleep if you're missing a part, or she's all, you make life hard on yourself because of your brain.
Right.
So now she's teaching me to check my brain and take care of my brain and my body, and because of that, now I can put my priorities in order.
Okay. That's really cool. Man, I have a really good question for you, and my brain just completely spaced out.
Hey, can play the accordion.
Yeah, I feel like you should learn to play the accordion.
I'm gonna learn one song.
Yeah.
Okay, when I say song, no, I'm gonna learn like 10 seconds. And when I do, the next time we do this podcast, I'm gonna bust that
That'd
motherfucker
be so
out.
fucking cool. I once tried to play the accordion in a music shop, and they asked me to leave. So I was the most annoying person in there.
You're like, yeah, can I see that $8,000 ivory key accordion, please?
What is like? Do you have a process for when you're painting? Like, how does an idea come to you?
So I get these ideas, and I'll tell my girlfriend, I'm like, hey, put it in my notes. She keeps notes for me.
That's so nice.
So, yeah.
She sounds like like she rescues cats, she cooks for you, and she keeps notes for you. This is like a dream.
She has a thing called Tonyisms.
That's so sweet.
So if I'm high and say something funny, she'll write it down and she'll read it back to me.
Oh my God, she's so nice.
She's all, yo, this was so funny.
She's like a real life Siri.
Yeah, yo, like, yo, for real, like she is. She is. But I'll have an idea and I'll be like, hey, Cholo Spider wearing Cortez shoes.
Wow.
Boy with thorns coming out. She'll write it down and I'll be like, what should I draw? She goes, all right, so right now you got, let's see, we got a couple Hanyas morphing into this. You can draw a panther doing this. And I'll be like, ooh, that's the one I want.
Wow.
I'll start drawing it. And then, I'll get super stoned and start sketching it. And then I'll go create.
That's really cool. Have you always had the same kind of like process for when you're painting? Like, do you care about music or what's around you?
Yeah. So I got like a little setup. I always have to lay my little mat down. I got my little paper towel in the same spot. I have my Jack Daniel's cup that I just use for my water. Got my same brushes I've had for I think I've had them for 15 years. I put on some music or maybe like a documentary on my iPad, and I just zone out. I just like go to town. Like that's the one thing I can hyper focus on. Like sometimes I'll start a painting. I'll be like, oh, I don't want to start a painting. She'll go, no, go start it. Like it's cool. Like she's all, I'm tired as fuck. I'm gonna go to sleep. Like go play some video games and start painting. So I'll play video games and I'll paint, and then before you know it, the painting's done in the morning. I'll put it out on the island. Because she gets up before me and she'll be like, this is so sick.
That's awesome.
So she's a big help for me, if I'm being honest.
That's really cool. What do you think your favorite part of being on Ink Master was?
Getting ripped to shreds.
Like, because you learned a lot and grew
You
as an
learn
artist?
a lot. Like, I mean, to an extent, sometimes I feel like they're just fucking saying shit to say shit, but it's TV. I know the name of the game. That's why I don't get upset. But it's like, you got to leave your fucking bullshit at the door. Like they don't give a fuck who you are. Like they're going line for line, and if you're not good, they'll tell you. And sometimes you need people to tell you that shit. Like, I like my feelings hurt, not all the time, but every once in a while it's good for you and it brings you out of that. So just the criticism I received and the friendships, like me and Clean Rock One are like really close now. He's one of my best friends. So like we rode our choppers to Mexico together.
Oh, right. You were telling me that. That's so cool.
Yeah. We learned how to paint bikes together. Well, he knows how to paint, but we took a paint class in Arizona together. Like we took an RV and slept in it.
That's really cool. Is that guy like, what's the name of that guy?
Clean Rock One?
No, the guy that teaches the class.
Armando?
No, I feel like what's the name of the business?
Paint Huffer?
Yeah.
Okay,
He used to send me stuff all the time. He's really cool.
Yeah. So
you were about to think I'm crazy for knowing it. You're like, you don't know Armando?
I was like, you know Armando Serrano? Like, what the fuck? Fuck you, Mondo. But he painted my 64 Impala.
He's does beautiful stuff.
He's a great painter, so he teaches classes.
That's really cool.
He teamed up and he goes, hey, I've been asking to paint for so long, but he goes, you ain't ready, or he'd be like, well,
Wow.
maybe one day.
That's crazy.
And then he started inviting me to work on my own car, and and finally he goes, you want to come to a class? I was like, please. So me and Clean went to a class, and ever since then I've been painting every single one of my choppers.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Damn.
He's another guy I'm very thankful for introducing me, because just like tattooing, nobody needs more painters. So much mediocre shit out there that washes out all the great shit. And I'm stoked that he brought me on.
That's so cool. Do you feel like that's really influenced your tattooing at all?
Oh, hell yeah. Because now I'm using, now like before, like I was never too crazy on color theory. Everyone tries to fucking act like Albert Einstein when they tattoo. You're like, oh, this has to go with this. And I'm like, dude, no, I'm mixing this and this. And I'm putting Gucci print right here if I fucking feel like it.
Yeah.
Like I don't care. But now certain colors don't look good on a peanut tank. It's one thing on skin that you can't remove. That's whatever. But on a peanut tank, colors got to be right. On a chopper, they got to be right.
Yeah.
And so I'm learning, color combos. I play with different candies. I'm like, ooh, that red kind of looks good with that teal. So then I'll put it in tattooing.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I like that, the crossover there. Do you feel like that same way you get like lost working on your bike is a similar thing to when you're painting, or it's a different kind of...
Oh, man. Like choppers, like... If that's another thing you need to know about me, like motorcycles and like vintage Harley machines are like my pride and joy. Like I love building those bikes. And I know it's like a huge fad and everyone's doing it. And I'm like, I get it because they're fucking awesome. Like I don't give a shit. Like build whatever you want. For me, I loved it because like a car, like I've loved lowriders my whole life. I've built lowrider bikes when I was a kid. My dad used to help me build them and we go enter them in competitions.
That's cool.
So it reminds me of building lowrider bikes again. And that's why I build it. And you can build them in the fucking living room, like my girl's cooking marinara and I'm cleaning a fucking knucklehead transmission in the sink. You can't do that with a car.
Yeah.
I love how accessible it is when I want to get to it.
Right. That's really cool.
And then I ride these things, and I ride them hard and I break them and I fix them again and I break them and I fix them again. Like it's the process. I love it.
Yeah, it's cool that you can only really ride it if you know how to fix it, and I think that's what's super unique about it.
And you got to learn quick. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, dude, nothing's gonna happen, man. I fucking figured all that shit out. Every other thing went wrong that I fucking didn't think about. So now I got to learn that on the side of the road, fix it, come back. Like my panhead on the way back to Mexico. Keep in mind, we went to Baja and then we're coming back through Mexicali. Have you ever been to Mexicali? Mm-mm. Probably not. And I don't really recommend you going there because it's fucking wilding right now. It's a third world country, and it's essentially like it's crazy out there, but it's beautiful. Like I love Mexico. Like but if you are not used to it, it can be very overwhelming. And we were riding and the side of my panhead just started pissing oil and I cracked my motor. So we had to pull over at a Mexican AutoZone and he's all, Tony, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And we're in AutoZone. He has his little app putting it on all the products to transfer it to English. I'm like, dude, I know what we're getting. I speak Spanish. But we got some stuff. And then, we did some like cold weld stuff and we mixed some putty and we just jammed it in that spot to hold the oil from pissing out and got me all the way to San Diego.
Damn.
So I got to get out of Mexico.
Yeah, I mean, that's a scary position. Like, thankfully, you were able to get yourself out of that position.
Yeah.
And it wasn't anything crazier than that. I mean...
Dude, everyone was like, dude, I bet you were so scared of staying there with the cartel. I was like, I'm scared fucking leaving my panhead in Mexico.
Yeah.
Like, that's my first panhead. I've always had shovel heads because I could never really afford a pan.
Yeah.
And the first thing I bought with my Ink Master money was my panhead.
Really?
Yeah. And that's going to my grave. Like, my chick knows that goes in my casket with me.
Your panhead?
Yeah.
This specific one?
Yeah. Either she learns how to ride it or it's going in my casket.
Would you say that you put way more money into it than you spent on it? Than you originally?
No, because I got it for a good deal and it's a cool story.
Yeah.
So I was on a motorcycle run and I just went by myself. It was called the Golden Chain Run. And I was on my shovel head and I went to Grass Valley, California. I was at a little chopper meetup and I had a friend named Pete who runs Goodspeed and he builds a lot of my motors because he's a fucking wizard. And there was these dudes from, I think it was like Amsterdam or I don't remember the country. I feel so fucking bad, but they were European and they were riding too. Mm-hmm. And they were just linking up and they're like, he was like, hey, they're going to the same place. You want to ride with them? So I met these dudes and I rode up with them all day and we got to know each other. We got to our campsite. I was partying with them. And then, I told them who I was and they were like, you're on fucking Ink Master? I was like, yeah, man. And they're like, holy shit, you know, but they were cool way before. And so I was like, hey, you guys want to come back to Reno? Like, fuck it, let's go back to Reno. I gave one of them his first tattoo. He got a knucklehead on his arm, his only tattoo. They stayed at my house. Well, this panhead came up for sale the next day on Instagram. And I was like, fuck, it was 10 grand. It was cheap.
Wow.
It was exactly what I wanted. And, I was like, man, I'd love to have that. And he's all, well, I just bought it. And after you win, it's yours for the same price. I was like, you're no fucking way. He goes, yep, I just bought it. So go clean house, make sure you win that motherfucker, and then buy it from me. And I went, cleaned house, cashed that check, and I fucking wired him 10 grand and the title and the bike and picked it up in Grass Valley.
Wow.
And I've had it ever since.
That's really cool.
So that story means a lot to me.
Yeah.
The dudes mean a lot to me. The whole process meant a lot to me. And like everyone had some crazy sap story, to go on there. Me, I just wanted to buy myself something for me that I didn't have to piece together over time. Like I could just be like, that's the one I want.
Yeah.
And I bought it and I've ridden that thing everywhere.
That's
everywhere.
awesome.
Montana, Canada, Mexico, all along the coast, Arizona. Like,
that's amazing.
Everywhere. Redwoods.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite trip that you've been on?
Honestly, probably the last motorcycle run I was on. We went through the Redwoods with a couple buddies. It was small. We hit rain. We were rained out. We were in these cabins, but damn, it was a good time. Just trading stories, smoking a shit ton of weed and eating food, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. But we had our friend Crazy Joe. He's he's the baddest biker on. My bike is modeled. My Born Free build right now, my People's Champ build, is modeled after his Easy Rider cover bike from the 80s.
Okay.
His name's Crazy Joe.
Damn.
And he
So
still
he's
rides the same
been
way,
around.
rides with his shirt off with ape hangers. He's a bad motherfucker. Like I want to be that man when I grow up.
Oh my God.
So he just tells stories about Sturgis in the 80s, 90s. He went to every Sturgis since like 85. He rides out there, and I just love hearing old timers speak about shit. And I think maybe that's why I love old tattooing. I like analog things.
Yeah.
I like stuff that you can fix with 3 different things around the house, or how people used to try to figure stuff out. And machines. These vintage machines are analog, so he had a lot of cool tricks and stories. And I'm working on my bike, and he's like inspecting stuff. He goes, "Yeah, dude, we should do this and that." And it's just memories I'll take forever, like to my grave with me. I'll remember those forever.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, all the boys on the trip are great. I loved everyone. We had a good crew. It was a good crew.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm really intrigued by Crazy Joe.
Yo, Crazy Joe, if I could ever get Crazy Joe on the podcast, yo, it's a good time. He will tell you some wild shit.
Yeah?
Yeah, but he's so easy to listen to and talk to. He's just a good time, man. He really is. He's moving to Wisconsin, unfortunately. That's where he's from. But I'm stoked he's on. I got to go be with my family. But I'm like, damn, I want to ride some more motorcycles with you.
When did you get into like riding motorcycles?
I think it was like
with your
2009
dad?
or 2010.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, I think I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready, and started seeing choppers being built. I'm like, man, these things are starting to look, with the springers, I'm like, they're starting to look like lowrider bikes to me, and I started getting giddy and seeing all the colors and the candies. So I got an Ironhead, and my buddy Tony helped me. He kind of brought me into the game. He's a local hockey player, like a AAA hockey player. He's badass, but his name's Tony Lone Wolf, and he helped me get in the game. And ever since then, I was just sitting in my apartment, wrenching on shit. I was turning screws I had no business touching. I'm fucking cutting shit off. I'm learning the hard way, but damn, it was perfect. And I got that bike going, and then just kept going up from there.
How do you feel about people are like, oh, but it's so dangerous?
I mean, so is the fucking food we eat,
Yeah.
Like everything's dangerous. And I know you can't be like, you can't be stupid. Like I be as cautious as I can, but to an extent, like I do want to come home to my girl. Like I don't want her to have to bury me because I was a fucking idiot, or, so I'm just conscious. They're right. It is dangerous, but that's why not everybody rides a bike. Tattoos hurt. That's why everybody doesn't have them.
Right. Right. Do people ever really vocalize their pain when they're getting a tattoo in a way that's annoying or crazy?
What's annoying is the girls who think they get orgasms from it.
That happens?
Every once in a while. Have you had those? Oh, yeah. Yep.
Really? What do they do?
Maybe, I mean, I'm saying fake.
So what happens? They fake orgasms while they're getting tattooed?
Like, they'll just, like, and this happened, like, this was, like, all in my early...
Orgasms on motorcycles. That makes more sense.
Yes, but that's not...
That's where I was.
In my early career, you know, because the shop is, you know, was popping. It was outside of downtown. You get some wild, you know, I used to tattoo a lot of strippers, and I thought maybe that they thought that's what they had to do. They'd be like, oh, it turns me on. I'm like, well, you're fucking moving. So, like, turn off so I can finish the script, and then you can turn back on. And,
that's so weird.
And they'll always moan, and I'm like, yo, like, this is so uncomfortable for me.
Does that still happen? Like,
no, it hasn't happened in years, but that's the one thing. Or when people talk on their fucking phone.
Yeah.
Like, don't talk on your phone. Like, you're fucking up everyone else's experience, you know? Just because your tattoo is easy and you're talking to someone, this person's been sitting all day. And I don't know about you, but when there's too much, like, stuff going on around me, everything hurts more.
I was honestly thinking about the other day. I was like, when people are talking, I hate everything they're saying so much more when I'm in
like
pain.
Your body's already uncomfortable when you're overstimulated.
Yeah.
Now you're being stabbed with a mag for the last 6 hours.
Exactly.
It's not a good recipe.
All right, Tony, I'm going to read your tarot cards.
Hell yeah. Yo, my girl's gonna fucking love this. Oh my God.
How do you feel about tarot cards?
I used to be like, that's fucking bullshit. It's all fucking weird wizard bullshit. Like, that don't exist. You know, it doesn't mean anything. Damn. Okay. I'm sorry. They mean everything to me. I do believe I was getting to that part.
Well, you shuffle the deck.
Oh, hell yeah.
Thank you. Have you tattooed a bunch of tarot cards? I don't know. I feel like people ask for that.
I'm sorry.
Don't people ask for that? Is that crazy?
No, that's
question?
not that. I can't even shuffle these fucking gigantic fucking poster cards.
Well,
you got,
I've never
dude.
seen...
I feel like I'm outside of a T-Mobile store waving a sign.
I feel like we're about to play like Texas Hold'em. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. You said shuffle them. I'm
no,
from
but
Nevada.
I love it. I love this.
All right. The universe told me to cut it this way.
Really? Okay. Actually, I want you to pull the card.
Oh, fuck, man.
I just really feel like you're connected to them.
That's the one.
Okay. All right. That's good. It's the card for money.
Oh! Okay, so, you know, I date a white girl too, and she loves this shit, so she's always reading me, like, what is it, Co-Star?
Yes. Yeah.
And I'll be like, don't read me that shit, and then she'll read it, I'll be like, damn, who's watching me? And then the next one comes out, I'm like, oh, fuck. And they just keep rolling. I'm like, yo, I can't deny the universe now. Like, I don't have an explanation why it doesn't work.
It's true.
So it's just one of those, like, I'm going to run with it.
I agree. 10 of Pentacles here. I mean, Pentacles, material things, money, 10, great number here. Then we're just going to read a nice page from the book.
Oh, fuck.
All right. See what's going on.
The 10 of testicles.
You've been dying to say that, haven't you? I saw
Really
those eyes turning, dude.
I've had so many that I've sat on here. But
What else? Any other ones, or they've passed?
no, I was wrong on the whole motorcycle making women cum thing. I thought I was going to say that pineapple makes your motorcycle taste like cum, so I was looking.
What the fuck are you on, dog?
You know, because
All right, I'm going to tell you about the 10 of Pentacles. It's fulfillment and abundance. The 10 of Pentacles signifies material and spiritual abundance in nearly every area of your life. The number 10 usually indicates completion, and in this case, the journey was well worth it. So be generous not only with your money, but also with your wisdom. Provide guidance to those who struggle. You will be rewarded tenfold.
Yo, this is the craziest shit because I have a story that goes with this, and they were there right before we got here.
Really?
So...
Can you hold the thing?
Oh, fuck,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
All right. So, and this is why I kind of believe in this shit now. I was with my friend Jay. You met Jay.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he's always like, dude, you're one of the most generous people. Like, I introduced him to the Hustle Butter guys. I was like, dude, they're going to love you. Come with me. And they love him now. You know, he's all, dude, you're so generous. You network people. Like, I'm very secure with me as a tattooer. Like, I'm Tony Medellin. No one can tattoo like me. And that's fine because I can't tattoo like everyone else. I want to be me. And so I'm very secure. So I try to put all my homies on. I try to introduce people. Like, and he goes, dude, like, the universe is going to fucking hook you up one day. You know, I've seen it happen over and over. And then this dude came by, one of his homies, and he was all, dude, I haven't had weed, man. I'm like, he's from California. He's like withdrawing. And one of my customers gifted me some weed. And like, I can't take the rest of it on the airplane. So I was like, hey, dude, here you go. And he goes, what? How much you want? I was like, nothing, dude. He goes, dude, I just been blessed today because I lost my phone. Someone found it. And as I was walking up talking about weed, you just threw me some. And he was all, dude, bless up. You're going to get blessed. And I was like, I'm cool, man. I don't need that shit. Like, just take it. And then Jay's like, bro, he's all, the universe takes care of you, bro. Watch. The universe takes care of you. I was like, nah, dude, it's just coincidence. He's all, nah. We start walking downstairs. We're sitting at a corner waiting for my boys to pull up with the car. And we're just smoking to Jay. And this dude comes up. And he was just kind of chilling by himself, you know? And he comes up and he's making conversation. He goes, hey, is it cool if I jump in with you? I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. You know, so we're all passing in. And he introduces himself. And, you know, and he's the son of one of the most fucking famous East Coast tattooers, you know, back in the day, Ernie Carafa. I can't remember. I'm so high. I'm sorry.
No.
But Ernie, he's a bad motherfucker. Like he was like, yeah, that's my dad. He makes machines and builds machines now. And he was at the show and we were just talking stories and he's all, dude, check this out. He showed me his t-shirt. He goes, it's the shirt Ed Hardy designed for my dad back in the day. And I was like, I know that. I've seen that. It's in all the books, you know? He's like, yeah, dude, the shirt's still from the 70s. I'm still rocking it. Big old hole right here. He's got overalls. And we're just shooting the shit, talking tattoos. And, you know, we were just vibing. We smoked for like 10 minutes. And then finally he was all, all right, dude, thanks for the conversation. It was a great time. And I could tell he was relieved to just talk regular ass fucking tattooing with someone who likes to tattoo. And so he walked off and he left all his machines. And I yelled for him. I was like, yo, your machines. You forgot your machines. And he came back and he goes, dude, you saved me $4,000. And he goes, liner or shader? And I'm like, oh, dude, I don't, you know, as much as I want to buy a machine right now, I got to fly home. Like, I can't. And he goes, liner or shader? And I'm like, liner? So he opens up the case, opens it. He's all, that blue one right there, that one's yours. And I grab it and I'm just like, and I love, first off, holographic blue wrapped coils are my favorite coils. That was my first 5 machines were all blue holographic coils.
Whoa.
So he's all, that one right there, that one's yours. And I grab it and it's blue holographic coils. He gifted me a liner. And he said, thank you for the great conversation.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And he walked off and I was just like, and Jay just goes, I fucking told you.
Wow.
He's all, I just witnessed it.
That's really awesome.
Yeah. So like, and then now you pulled that. And that's why I believe in just being cool and taking care of people without needing anything in return, because it will come back eventually.
Yeah.
It will, you know, and if it doesn't, you're being a fucking dickhead.
Yeah.
You got to change your attitude or some shit. I don't know.
No, I believe in that too. Hell yeah. Well, Tony, thank you for the conversation.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This was a good time.
Thank you. Where can people find you? What's on the horizon? What do you want to tell people about?
Let's see. You can find me on Instagram, of course. I don't have Facebook. I don't have really anything else. Just Instagram. It's at Tony _Medellin tattoo. I say Medellin because it's easier to spell out.
Yeah.
If I say Medellin, these fools are going to start throwing up gang signs at the keyboard trying to figure it out. So I just say that.
Okay, we'll put the spelling of anyway because we always do that.
Perfect. And then check out the Happiest Hour. I'm super creative because of those drinks, man. I'm telling you, like they don't pay me shit. Like this is me being like, yo, you want to paint some wild shit? You got to fuck with the Happiest Hour, which I gave you some. If you guys like it,
yes.
Cool. If not, cool. But you're gonna. I don't push brands that are bullshit. Like if there's one thing people know about me is I don't push bullshit because it makes me look bad or it comes back on me if I told you this supply was good because these people pay me to say that. Yeah. And you're like, no, it's not. You know, then I look like a dick. So
awesome.
Other than that, just I don't know, just save your money. Be cool.
Nice.
Be cool, man. I don't keep life simple.
Hell yeah. Awesome,
keep life
Tony.
simple.
Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next week.
Awesome.
Bye.
Thank you.